It's test 65, game 4. A television programming director is scheduling a 3-hour block of programs beginning at 1 p.m. The programs include an hour-long program called Generations. We're just going to refer to that as G. And 4 half-hour programs, R, S, T, and W. The programs will be shown one after the other, each program shown exactly once. The schedule must meet the following constraints. Right off the bat, there's not really that much complexity here. We're putting 5 things in order, guys. How hard can it possibly be to put 5 things in order? Okay, that shouldn't be that tough. Now, it's a little quirky because we do have 6 half-hour slots and we have one of the 5 players, which takes up a full hour. The first rule says Generations starts on the hour, G, starts on the hour rather than the half hour. Again, we've got 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, and 3, 3:30. Generations has to start on the hour, which means it has to start at 1 and take up that entire block, 2 and take up that entire hour, or 3 and take up that entire hour. And then you're left with 4 places. The reason why I chose G is that G was special. It's the only hour-long program, and it has to start on the hour. There's a specific rule that says it has to start on the hour. So I thought, well, let me at least just incorporate those 2 rules into 3 worlds. See what I've done? I've eliminated 2 rules at once. G does take up a full hour. G does start at either 1, 2, or 3. I don't have to worry about that anymore. The purpose of making worlds is to bake your rules into your solution so that you get to process fewer rules. Second rule says Terry starts on the half hour rather than the hour. So Terry can be here or here. Terry can be here or here. Terry can be here or here. You know, Generations blocks one of the half-hour spots, but otherwise there are 2 places where Terry can go. I might just do this with an arrow for Terry, or a handle, or a link, a switch, whatever you want to call it. But that notation to me means Terry has to go here or here, Terry has to go here or here, Terry has to go here or here. I have baked that rule into my worlds, so I don't have to think about that as much anymore. I don't have to remember that. It's pictured. Third rule says R before S. Maybe I'll write that one down. You know, there's a lot of flexibility still in these 3 templates. R is going to have to be before S in all of the templates. You could make the inference, you know, that R can't go here or here or here, and S can't go here or here or here, but R before S, I can picture that pretty easily, that, you know, obviously R is not going last and S isn't going first. Last rule is a conditional rule. It says if W is shown earlier than T, it has to be immediately before T. And I don't have any like special technique or anything for that, but you know what that means is you've got 2 choices. You've either got T before W, in which case the rule doesn't apply, or you've got exactly WT in a block. Anytime W is before T, it's immediately before T. But it is also acceptable to have T before W, in which case they don't have to be touching. So what I've done there is I've sort of translated that conditional rule into an either or. You can't always do that, but here it seems like a pretty easy way to tackle that rule. Do I want to go any further, or do I want to go ahead and tackle the questions? I'm noticing now that T has been mentioned a couple times, and it might be worth, like, what happens in this world if T has to either be before W or it's immediately WT. That does have implications if T is last. If T's last, then W has to go next to last. And notice, actually, if T's here, W can go wherever it wants. When T's here, if W's here, that's fine. Or if W's here or here, that's also fine because it'll be T before W. Does that work out the same way in all three worlds? Because if it does, I'm going to have a much easier time of thinking about the TW rule. In this world, if T's here, yeah, same shit. W can go right here, that's WT, that's fine. Or W could go here or here while T's here, because that's T before W. But when T is last, then it has to be exactly WT. Same thing here? Yep, sure enough. If T's here, W can go wherever it wants. If T's here, then W has to go right here. Now, in real life, if I had unlimited scratch paper, I might go ahead and just split this based on where T goes, split this based on where T goes, split this based on where T goes. If I did that, it would completely eliminate that last rule, and all I would be left with is R before S. Notice that when T does go last, it's not just T's last, it's W goes next to last, and R before S has to fill in those remaining two spots. Same thing is going to happen here. When T's last, you're going to have R, S, W, T. Same thing is going to happen here. When T's fourth, you're going to have R, S, W, T. Whenever T is earlier, W becomes a wild card, and then you just have R before S. I think if you went that next step and actually made those splits, it would probably be pretty efficient. I can do that in my head, so maybe I won't do it. Let's see. Number 17. Which one of the following could be the order in which the programs are shown from earliest to latest? For this type of question, I'm just going to test the rules and make sure that I have eliminated 4 wrong answers. So I'll start with G. G has to go first, third, or fifth. A has G first, B has G fifth, C has G fourth with only 1 half-hour program after it. That means G did not start on the hour, so C is eliminated. Both D and E have G last, which certainly works in one of my templates. T has to start on the half hour rather than the hour. This is a little tricky because G takes up a full hour. Okay, so you actually have to carefully go through each answer and think about what time it is when T starts. So A, generations takes up a full hour. Then RW takes up an hour. Oops, T starts on the hour, not the half hour in A. So A is eliminated. But not B. B says RSWTG. That's actually fine. G takes up the full hour, but it came after T. So we're in this template. T can go fourth in that template. So B is okay, even though A was eliminated. D has Terry on the half hour. E has Terry on the half hour. Next rule, R before S. B has R before S. D has R before S. E has R and S out of order, so E's gone. Last rule, if W before T, it's immediately before T. So B's fine, because it's W immediately before T. D's not fine. W is before T, but it's not immediately before T. That eliminates D. I've tested all the rules. I've eliminated A, C, D, and E. B is the only answer still standing, so B's the answer. Number 18 says, if Waterloo is first, then what happens? Well, Waterloo can't be first in this template. In order for Waterloo to be first, we have to be here or here. in both cases, Waterloo is going to be before Terry, which means it has to be immediately before Terry. So I think it works here if we go WTGRS, and it also works here if we go WTRSG. It works in this world and this world, but there's only going to be one way of doing it in each of those worlds. So there's a total of 2 different ways of making W first. And the answer for number 18 is B. Number 19 says, what happens when R is second? R could definitely be second here. And R could be second here. I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do. On the real test, I would write out new diagrams, but because I'm working with limited whiteboard space, I'm going to use my red pen. In this world, if I make R second, I guess I still have some flexibility. You could go TWS. I think you could also go SWT. I think either of those would work. Here, I don't think you can put R second. Because if you put R second, then T's last, which means W has to be right before it, which leaves only the first spot for S, which would be S before R, which wouldn't work. So we're not in this world if we're putting R second. In this world, oh, same thing. If we put R second, T goes here, W goes here, S goes before R. That's not going to work. So we're in this world. If R is second, G has to be first. And if this is a must be true question, that'll be the answer. It says, if R is second, each of the following could be true except. Can I make Sundown third? Yes, I can. Can I make Sundown fourth? No, it's going to be W in both cases, interestingly. Unless I messed up. Terry is fifth. Yeah, that works. Waterloo is third. Well, not in these diagrams. In these diagrams, Waterloo is, it's at 3 o'clock, but it's fourth both times. E says Waterloo is fifth. No, it can't. I clearly messed up somewhere. There are other solutions that I did not anticipate. I know that these work, but there must be other worlds in which I can put R second. So what did I do wrong? R as the second program. Somebody want to bail me out? In the chat, I see GRTSW. Oh. Oh, because it's T before W. In this world right here, that's what I did wrong. It was just one little misstep. One really interesting thing about the games is that they will make absolutely no sense if you make one tiny little misstep, but then as soon as you see what your misstep was, you realize, oh, yeah, I was basically right. I can't put R here, I can't put R here. I know I'm in this world, but the thing I did wrong is that when T is second, when T's last, you definitely have to have W there and you have to have S there. But when T's second, then it doesn't matter. T's before W, so these two spaces can be S and W in either order. The only thing I missed there was the handle. I thought it had to be exactly TW, but it doesn't. It can be TSW or TWS. Now, which one of the following must be false? A, Sundown is third. That could be true. Sundown is fourth. Could be true. Terry is fifth. could be true. Waterloo is third. No, it can be fourth or fifth, but it can't be third. So that's going to be our answer. Waterloo is fifth. Yeah, that can be true. I was like 99% right, but that's not good enough. You know, I made one step too far where I thought that W had to be before S, but it just doesn't. And that's why, you know, it's like maybe I tried to go 10% too fast, and it ended up costing me 5 minutes to sort out that error. So the takeaway there is just calm, careful, safety first. Don't make the goof that I just made. Number 20 says, what happens when Sundown is third? Well, I do have an example of Sundown being third right here. It would have to be G. That's when R was second. It was GRSWT. Sundown is not the third program in our second world because this is a program, and G is the third program. I do think that Sundown can be third in this world. If I was going to do that, I guess you still have a little bit of flexibility. You could put R here, then TSW. Or I think you could put T here. Then you get R and W. Oh wait, that doesn't work. If T's down here, no, that doesn't work. Because you have W before T without having exactly WT. So that actually doesn't work. Okay, I have a couple examples of it working. Which one of the following has to be true in both of those templates? G first? No, because it works down here. R first? No, because it works up here. R second? No, because it can be first. Terry is fifth? No, it could be G. Waterloo fourth. To put S third, I saw GRSWT and RTSWG. In both of those, W is fourth, which is enough for me to conclude that number 20, E, is the correct answer. 21 says, what happens when G is third? G third puts me into this template. I don't really know what happens. I mean, I didn't make any inferences in that world. Which one of the following could be true? Can R be second? You know, I actually inferred this earlier. This world, you can't put R second because you'd have to have RWT, which would put S before R. So that cannot be true. Oh, wait a second. I'm in the wrong world. My bad. Let me start over. When G is third. If G is third, that's here. It didn't say G at 3 o'clock. It said if G is third. When G is third, I'm here. Okay, can R be second? Again, same thing, no. It's really hard for R to go second. If R goes second, T goes down here, W goes here, S goes here, that's R, S before R, so that won't work. How about R fifth? No, R can never go fifth because R goes before S. How about S fourth? Seems possible. I'd want to put T here, S here, W here, R here. T's on the half hour, R's before S, T's before W, so I don't have to worry about that rule. This works, so that's the answer. Could T go fourth in this world? No, Generations is third. T has to be either second or fifth. How about could Waterloo be second? No, because you can't put T before that. If you put Waterloo here and T here, then you wouldn't have WT. So the answer for number 21 is C. Just a couple more. Okay, all the if questions were in a row there, 18 through 21. So number 22, which one of the following cannot ever be true? A says S immediately before G. I don't know, R likes to go before S, In this world especially, why can't I put S here? WTRS would work. Nah, S can be immediately before G. How about W immediately before R? I haven't ever seen that happen in any of my previous templates. W immediately before R. See, the problem is if W is immediately before R, then you don't have WT. So to have W immediately before R, we would need T before W immediately before R, and that has to go before S. Can you fit this in while also putting T on the half hour? No, you can't, because if G went first, T would be at 2 o'clock. If G went second, G wouldn't even be on the hour, and T would be on the hour. And same thing, if you put G here or here, T is going to be starting at 1 o'clock, which doesn't work. So the answer for number 22 is B. You're never going to end up with W immediately before R because you need T before WR before S. Breaks the game. Number 22B. Number 23, last one. Which one of the following, if substituted for the constraint that G starts on the hour rather than the half hour, would have the same effect in determining the order in which the programs are shown? These rule substitution questions tend to be the hardest types of questions. We have a whole lesson on that inside Daemon Premium and Daemon Live. You have permission to just skip that question if you're like, let's say you're averaging 15 or 18 points on a typical section of games. You don't need to bother with these rule substitution questions. That said, sometimes you can predict the answer. Here, I don't really have much of a prediction. Other times, you can skim the answer choices and you can just see that an answer clearly has the exact same effect. So A says G is not shown immediately before T. That is true according to my starting setup. I'm never going to have G immediately before T. But how does that keep G from being at 1:30 or 2:30? I don't think A introduces any new restriction, but I do think that A fails to replicate the old restriction, and that's why A is out. B says generations has to be either the first program or the fifth. No, it doesn't. G could be the third program. I can't pick B because B creates a new restriction in the game. It's extra. So it changes the game. I want a rule that doesn't change the game. I want a rule that has no more and no less effect than the old rule. Oh, okay. And by the time I see C, it's actually pretty clear. If G can't be the second or the fourth program, then it has to be first, third, or fifth. And if it's first, third, or fifth, then it's going to start on the hour. I know that G has to be first, third, or fifth. So saying G starts on the hour has the same effect as saying G can't go second or fourth. It's a perfect replication of the rule, so the answer here is C. Let me just eliminate D and E for those of you who are interested. D says, if generations is shown third, then Roman is shown first. That doesn't have to be true. Here, generations is third, and I see no reason why R has to be first. In fact, I know it can be fourth in that template. E, if generations is not shown first, then it is shown later than Terry. No, generations can be here, not first, while Terry is last. So E doesn't have to be true according to the starting conditions either. C is the only answer that keeps G on the hour without also introducing any other new restrictions. So that's why the answer is C for this rule substitution question. And that's the game.